The flower's dying. It needs water.
Говорить с леди Элджбери. Так, надо вспомнить, кто у меня здесь кто. Леди Элджбери это вроде вампирша. Такая рыженькая, симпатичная. Ну-ка.
Good evening. Good evening.
Ничего тут не появилось нового.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Я не прокачалась. Ну ладно. Пофиг. Привет.
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak
Ну, она
up,
же
Dr.
сказала.
Root. I like a man who speaks his mind.
Он доверял вам. В итоге вы убийца. Вы прячетесь за маской сострадания. В смысле убийца?
Hiding your true appetites behind a facade of compassion. Bravo. Very clever indeed.
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
Мы же вампиры. Не стоит извиняться. Обвинение не было ложным. Я не знаю.
So in the end, the accusation was true, wasn't it?
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
The case is closed, your ladyship. The person who took advantage of you has, shall we say, seen the error of her ways.
So who was it?
My lady, the blackmailer was dealt with using the utmost discretion. The culprit's identity is of no relevance.
Thank you, Jonathan. That is exactly what I needed from you. You have proven your loyalty, so, as a friend, please accept this small token of my appreciation.
Thank you, my lady.
50 шиллингов?
Inclination to learn more about vampires or your current situation,
Интересно, сколько ей лет?
I'd be glad to aid you in your quest for knowledge.
Леди Эшбери. Сколько вам лет? Нифига себе, есть такой вопрос. Swansea позволяет вам убивать?
Why does Dr. Swansea allow you to feed on the patients of the hospital?
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man. He is trying to find a solution for our hunger. Until that happens, he is clever enough to understand that I only feed upon the dying.
What do you know about this Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole?
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London vampire society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come to a mutual understanding.
Да, уж на каком-то братстве состоит.
And no one suspected you of the murders.
As you well know, suspicion has recently fallen on me of killing for pleasure. But you have my word, Jonathan. I take no pleasure in taking a life.
I know this is beyond the pale, but may I inquire your age?
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27. I've been 27 for a long time now, and 27 I shall remain.
27, блин. Так и не скажешь, как будто под 37. Кто даровал вам вещь мощь, это не вся правда.
And who bestowed upon you this eternal youth?
My maker. He left this isle a long time ago.
Very well. But I believe there is more to this than you are saying.
A lady has to have some secrets.
Why did you save me in the canning factory?
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to shreds by some gutter scowl.
William Bishop wasn't the vampire that created me then.
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, Scowls are the progeny of careless vampires. It cannot be the other way round.
What type of vampire is a Scowl?
Not a true vampire. The deformed offspring of
типа
lesser
упыри.
vampires. It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves to their baser instincts.
I've been away from London and England for 3 years. This isn't the city I remember.
Things have gone from bad to worse here, Jonathan. I've lived in this city for a long time.
Не вижу.
And I've never seen it like this.
The Spanish flu has hit London that bad.
Yes, but it's not just that. I've heard things. Things I've not heard for a very, very long time. There are whispers in the shadows. Something far worse than the Spanish flu is here in the city.
What is it you fear?
Fear has long since flown this form. But there is something malevolent circling us. I feel fear is merely waiting in the wings.
When I awoke, changed, I was chased and attacked by vampire hunters. Prepared and well-trained.
Though I can't be certain, more than likely it was the once glorious Guard of Priwen.
You make them sound like some sort of cult.
More a society, and like all the best ones, a secret society. I thought them almost gone, but it seemed they have been recruiting.
Once glorious, but still dangerous.
They have seen better days, but all fanatics are dangerous. You would be wise to
Блин, у меня
stay
есть
clear.
информация
They
про
are sworn
нападение
to
на
destroy
больницу
our
какую-то.
kind.
Засаду. Кому это можно рассказать?
Are there many vampires here in London?
Я же помню, заходила в
Are of a
какую-то
rare
комнату.
breed, and we often tend to
Напротив
hide,
дом был.
but you may occasionally meet
Ну,
some of us
рядом,
at night.
сбоку.
Do you know any of them? Have you an idea of the identity of the vampire who attacked me?
You mean your maker? No, Jonathan, I have no clue. But I fear he or she is as careless as cruel. To let you discover your new condition by yourself.
What do you mean?
Every now and then, you may discover an immortal in the deep of the night. But we are a rare and reclusive breed. Our progeny is almost never accidental.
Will they all be as affable as you, my lady?
I do not see why not. But remember, even the shark smiles before he bites.
That sounds like a lesson from experience.
Vampire politics are as intricate and sometimes tedious as a game of chess in a gentleman's club. I've learned from experience it is best to decline to play.
I've been hearing a voice talking in my head. Is this some kind of insanity? It feels like the voice of the vampire that created me.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more of your maker.
How could this cause offense?
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to their progeny. No vampire or hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the streets of London.
Excuse my forwardness, but are you my maker?
Me? Goodness, no. Only a foolish immortal would create a progeny without taking precaution, and I'm no fool.
I don't understand. Why was I created and then left for dead?
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal practice. I doubt even if you find him, he will answer you, considering how cruelly he treated you.
Мне кажется, это, возможно, даже и случайность была, может быть, что-то с медициной
So
связано,
me being a vampire
с его
could
прошлым.
have been a mistake.
I very much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make another vampire by just biting someone.
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire by mistake anyway. Tell me, how is it done?
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
A vampire? Is that what I am? What we are?
Such a crude word, defined by penny dreadfuls and drunken hacks. No. You are now an Ekon, and that you shall remain.
Are you an Ekon too?
Yes, I am. We are the closest thing to what man
Vampиры
refers to as
типа.
vampires. Forget what you think you know about us.
So we are Ekons. How can I identify us amongst other
Ekone.
vampires?
How to put it? All Ekon are vampires, but all vampires are not Ekon. We are but a branch of the immortal tree.
I bid you farewell, for now, my lady. I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient.
Пациента сестры Крейн. Так, ничего не скажет нового.
Good evening.
Doctor,
Goodbye.
Какие-то подсказки, где их взять-то? Все.
You're lucky to be.
this place is full of sickening.
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my pain.
Don't play the innocent with me.
I'll leave you.
When I get back, I'll have a word.
Может, кстати, зря я его спасла.
Piss me off this time.
Какой-то странный.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need. Good evening, Miss
I
Hutt.
need blood, Doctor.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire
О,
here
нифига.
in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I
Ничего
must
себе.
shrink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
Вы страдаете, говорит, вы ничего не знаете о вампирах, вы рискуете.
You have no idea what problems your claim could cause if heard by the wrong people, Miss Howcroft. You must stop this
Если
nonsense.
честно,
Why fear the truth? Strange things live in the
она
dark.
похожа на вампира.
Strange and ancient beings that were here before this island even had a name.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark.
I'm quite a bit.
Thank you
Так,
for your...
ладно. Анализировать кровь. Резано Василия. Бе-бе-бе-бе. Где ее проанализировать? А, вот. Образец разбавленной свежей крови. Где мне ее найти? У меня нету. Может,
Razvan Vasily was infected by Spanish flu, but also has the highly unstable blood of the Scows. Is the London vampire epidemic transmitted through the flu? I should talk to Dr. Swansea about it.
так, ладно. История одной семьи. Выявить связь между эпидемией вампиризма и испанским гриппом. Свертывание, длительность контроля. Уровень 10. У меня какой уровень? Понятно. Сильный укус. У меня вроде ничего нет. Тебя просили что-то говорить вообще? Можешь не продолжать. Вот, честно. На 1 час тебе тайм-аут сделаю. Так. Письмо от Ракиша Чанады. Дорогой доктор Суонси, я готов управлять временным моргом, как только он откроется. Как я уже сказала на фронте, я был врачом и буду рад снова послужить моей стране. Я знаю, что врач для живых и для мертвых это не одно и то же, но мне кажется, что забота об усопших это важно. Будьте уверены, что я приложу все силы для того, чтобы исполнять свои обязанности. Не жаль, что я ничем не могу подкрепить свои слова. Я клянусь вам, что в полку меня сделали... А в полку меня сделали врачом, и на фронте я спас жизни многих людей. Если моего слова не достаточно, можете связаться с военной администрацией, так подтвердят наличие у меня опыта и навыков. И свидетельствует то, что на войне я получил все необходимые для врача знания, даже если никогда не изучил медицину. Так, он хочет быть врачом. Ну, вроде как...
Evening, Edgar.
Please speak.
This strain of flu, it's very different from the one I saw.
Really? What makes you say?
I've just looked at the blood of one of our recently deceased.
I see. Do you have anything more to go on?
This disease spreads and looks.
This is very interesting.
Да, удалось, пока нет. Пока нет.
I have a few leads, but nothing I can share for now.
I'd be interested to hear your thoughts.
There's a lot we're not seeing here, but it is spreading.
But Jonathan, we've a fantastic opportunity.
What on earth do you mean?
Why, you, my dear boy, with your expertise.
But the risk of infection using vampire blood could compound the situation.
I know, but your blood now carries remarkable regenerative properties. With our minds and your blood, there's nothing we couldn't cure.
We'll discuss this more later. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Jonathan. But as I said, I needed to talk to you. I have some rather bad news.
Yes?
I'm afraid it's your sister.
My sister?
She's to be buried this evening at Whitechapel Cemetery. Your mother published the obit.
I see.
I'm sorry, Jonathan.
Посетить похороны Мэри. Ну-ка, что-то еще
need to
может
talk.
Please do.
говорить. Больницу содержит вампир. Если так, Рен не вернется. Когда уже ожидается захват своего города, всего города.
Nurse Crane
Знаю.
will not be returning to Pembroke Hospital.
Oh, really? Did something happen? She seems such a very capable woman.
Она ушла навеки, она шантажировала леди Эшбери.
She was blackmailing Lady Ashbury. Thought she was murdering patients as some sick upper-class game.
Nurse Crane was playing a dangerous game. She's lucky Lady Ashbury abhors violence.
Ненавидит насилие?
So you manage a hospital financed by a vampire?
Yes, Pembroke was founded by Lady Ashbury. She's also our largest donor.
A convenient yet expensive way to have a fresh supply of blood on hand, day and night, don't you think?
All vampires drink blood by nature. Me, I praise the lady's exemplary moral fiber.
If I may inquire, how did you meet her?
Не знаю
Jonathan,
еще.
she sought me out and offered me the position. It's been a very profitable partnership for both parties.
Do you know anything about the vampire hunters in the East End?
Without a doubt, it's the Guard of Prewen. Zealots to the last man.
Where do they come from?
Once they shared the Brotherhood's ideology on non-intervention. They concluded vampires were a scourge.
They're definitely well organized and equipped.
They're extremely dangerous and not to be trifled with. To them, you're a feral beast, and I, your accomplice.
Это уже третий его аккаунт, который он создает.
We'll talk later. I need to...
Please do.
We'll talk...
Дурачок. Так. Добраться до кладбища. Я хочу зайти к этому врачу и спросить у него насчет того, что... Ой,
Good evening.
почему
I'll
его не
leave you.
пускают работать?
I never thought I would have to attend my murdered sister's funeral. Mary,
Блин, а как это попасть?
forgive myself.
В какую сторону?
I'll find the truth about what happened to us. I swear.
Я его сначала вообще не увидела.
Good evening, Doc. Tell me the truth about your appointment as a medic during the war, Rakesh.
The regiment administration appointed me by mistake. I had to learn the job on the spot, sir. Very hard, sir, but I rose to the challenge.
Нельзя выдавать себя за врача. Вы должны были отказаться.
Do you realize how many soldiers died because of that decision? You should have refused.
Yes, sir, I swear I did, sir. But no one listened. When the first wounded arrived, I had to do what I could.
It is an unbelievable story, Mr. Chidani.
It was a time beyond belief, Dr. Reed. But I'm happy not to deal
Что
with the
сделала,
wounded.
понравилось, им понятия
I
не
prefer
имею.
caring for the dead now.
You can't impersonate a doctor. You can't improvise a medical education. People could die at your hands.
You're absolutely right, sir. But as a field surgeon, it was more like being a butcher.
Do you believe you have really helped these people?
My ratings were within the averages of the regiment. I saved lives, Dr. Reed. Does that not say enough about triage and war surgery?
Please show me.
Of course.
А у него нету. Блин, мне нужна пробная кровь. Так. Что тут? И, кстати, в порту еще не всех Black Hole. Состояние тяжелое. И здесь я не была. Или была. Бля. Да. Я ничего не использую. Что тут? Какой-то сейф. Чё? Большая банка таблеток. Whitechapel Street. Ничего. Я здесь не была. А можно вниз прыгнуть? Алюминиевый осколок. Так. Господи, что это за дурачок? Я здесь была? Здесь не была. Так, я хочу в порт сходить еще, посмотреть, что там. Или как это называется? Район. Потому что... Порт, да. Я тут просто еще не всех нашла. Это самая первая локация, вроде как. Может туда перелезть. Вроде как можно было. О.
Hello.
Yes.
У вас есть работа?
Mr. Thatcher, do you have a job?
No. Since I came back from the war, I spent most of my time and energy just trying to forget.
I understand what you mean. I was a soldier too.
No. Nobody can truly understand what I've gone through.
Why were you locked in that sewer?
Давайте сделаем прогноз, зайдет ли он еще раз. Скажите привет. Ага, сейчас. Осуждаю.
I went by the canal after an argument with a friend. Got chased by these fucking wankers and had to barricade myself in, despite my claustrophobia.
Из-за чего вышла ссора?
Why did you run? What was the reason for your argument?
Newton wanted me to go to a hospital. I can't stand being closed in. Makes me feel like I'm suffocating.
Tell me about your claustrophobia. Has anyone given you an official diagnosis?
That's what the bloody doctors said. But I don't want to go to a hospital to get checked again. I'll deal with it my own way.
Ошибочный диагноз. Средство от головной боли. Почему не пойти в больницу?
Oswald,
Так он же сказал.
why did you not go to the Pembroke Hospital to seek medical help?
I don't trust doctors. All they care about is their careers and processes. I won't be locked in any room again by anyone.
Your fear of being trapped is not going to go away by itself. You need professional help.
I've seen enough butchers in white coats to last a lifetime. Hospitals reek of chemicals and death. What I need is fresh air.
Do you want to talk about why you have this fear of being enclosed, Mr. Thatcher?
No, I really don't.
An irrational fear like yours is usually rooted in a specific event. Perhaps it would help to talk about it.
Well, doctor, take a guess then if you're so interested.
Интересно, а
in my
если
case.
их сначала лечить, а потом можно поговорить с ними. Так, у него есть боязнь комнат, типа замкнутого пространства. Это солдатское чувство вины, все идет из детства, вас похоронили заживо. Блин, я не знаю, что ответить. Ну он же типа в прошлом военный.
As a
Первый,
soldier,
наверное.
you're expected to kill the enemy to survive. Guilt is a powerful emotion and could lead to feelings of suffocation and oppression.
Опыт дает.
God, you're so wrong. Believe me, I would kill if it happened again. Violence is part of who I am.
Может, и с детства надо было сказать. Я не знаю. Я потеряла подсказку с ним.
Goodbye.
Он мог бы что-нибудь рассказать про себя. Блин, а как в порт вернуться? Через мостик, наверное, этот. Блять. Или нет? Что это вообще за место? Блять, жесть тут много.
It's locked.
Sorry, sir. No admittance. Stupid beast! We have to stop it!
О, быстрее восстанавливается. Блин, тут походу баг в игре. Это вот эти баночки скрипят. Это походу баг. Надо выйти. За 100 прос, где заперт где-нибудь в подвале, что показать за поведение. Вот и класс появилась классика. Сейчас перезайду в игру. Стул скрипит. Ну, это прям вот этот вот скрип был всю игру. Все равно запустить. Чернуть. Какие-то облачные сохранения. Блядь. Господи, какой конч. Походу. Ставки. Глаз был в гробнице. Куда иду, не знаю куда. Но я хотела бы порт обследовать, а тут как бы непонятно что. Инсбери Гейт. Что такое вообще? Порт. Вот Чапл, Вест-Энд. Ну вот порт. Может, я не знаю, еще доберусь туда, конечно. Ладно. Я пойду по сюжету. В чем сюжет заключается? Ну, в общем, ты, ну, типа главный герой вампир, вот, и он ничего понять не может вообще, почему, кто его вообще сделал таким. Плюс еще тут в придачу испанка, как бы болезнь, эпидемия. И вот он, типа, проснулся от того, что его укусил вампир, и он понять ничего не может. Типа, кто это сделал, кто, типа, создатель его. Вот, и он, короче, ищет, вспоминает, как ведьмак, можно сказать, по кусочкам память восстанавливает. Типа, что вообще произошло, кто он такой, кем он был раньше. Но вот, как оказалось, он был лучшим гематологом в Лондоне, вроде как. Ну и тут, типа, сюжет найти создателя, главного персонажа. Помочь людям. Кого-то вылечить. Да бля. Плюс еще это не так-то просто. Тут как бы у всех свои секреты. Вот, какие-то странные секты. Блять, у него выносливость кончается. Патроны. Кстати, пистолет есть. Может поменять. Ну, тут оглушать хотя бы можно. Двуручное оружие. Двуручное оружие. Ой. Типичный Лондон. Ну, не совсем тут, типа, вампиры. У меня есть на ютубе мое прохождение. Если интересно, можешь глянуть. Я проходила в начале игры. В начале там. Чуть назад иду. Так, мне надо пойти на кладбище к сестре. Туда попасть. Какой-то двор. такое? Я тут была вроде. Нет. Блядь. Учетка создана 2 минуты назад, боже. Чел реально сидит, ему делать нечего и создает аккаунты. Я в доту просто играла до этого, и там вот такие вот сидят. Сочувствую. Сочувствую. Так. Бронхита. Не знаю, как пройти. Я забыла, как идти. Сюда, сюда, сюда. В том доме я была. Не знаю. Карта. Жесть, ты финального босса в Elden Ring с Медузой добила. К такому меня жизнь точно не готовила. Блин! Медуза это вообще самый лучший напарник. Самый лучший напарник, который был у меня в этом самом. А я не туда пошла. Самый лучший напарник в Elden Ring. Жесть! Потому что я ее, во-первых, ну, усилила. И по ней просто никто не мог попасть. Она очень ловкая. И вообще, типа, постоянно по ней промахивались все. Ну, ни один дух мне особо не помог так. Хотя я только немного как бы использовала. А вот туда. Только это район другой. Я, оказывается, туда шла. Да блин. Такая тема, что тут нельзя добивать этим. Я ее на небеса к сестре отпустил, поэтому и у меня ее потом не стало, пришлось копию себя призывать. О, Ой, вот шутки шутками, но для меня там в Elden Ring был, блядь, самый последний босс неприятный. Ну, даже не моление. Я просто потом поняла, как ее убивать надо. У меня там своя тактика была. Какая-то странная. Че, сюда спрыгнуть, типа, можно? Ладно, идем на кладбище. Блин, вот элементарно в этой игре можно просто взять, подойти к помойке какой-нибудь мусорной, найти там бумажку, и в бумажке будет написан интересный факт про кого-то из жителей этой больницы. Хватит ли мне сил? Что-то кажется, я сейчас вампира здесь встречу. Какого-нибудь. Тут скали ходят. Пыри. Бля. Патронов уже нет. Может, двуручное взять просто. Оно как-то по урон больше. Ну, этот босс, у которого, по-моему, 2 стадии. Или 3. 2, по-моему. Эрдогон, или как его там, золотого порядка. Реально упыри. Ой, нет, нет, нет. Новое расследование. Вдова в беде. Спасти женщину, победив скалей. Это где? Какие-то NPC. Кто это такая?
Are you all right, miss?
I don't know. Who were those people? They wanted to kill me. Why?
They've lost their minds in the epidemic. They won't come back for now.
You seem to know a lot about them, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm investigating this disease.
I am Xiaoshun.
Xiaoshun?
Thank you so much for helping me, Mr. Reed. I must go to the cemetery now. Goodbye.
Все. А ей можно лекарство дать?
Maybe like...
Нет. Все. Что тут кровь? Странно как-то. Может быть, она вампир? Закрыто. Блин, слушайте, мне кажется, что это она сделала, возможно. Или такого не может тут быть. Может быть, у нее есть ключик от этого сундучка? Я могу ее загипнотизировать. А мне нужен 3-й уровень гипноза. Я, может, что-то не знаю. Да, они опять что ли восстановились? Я ж их убила всех. Так, куда мне идти? У меня моление с 10-го раунда, у меня больше Маргот заколебал, когда в первый раз... Ну да. Маргот, ну... Я сначала не поняла, как его убивать. Я вообще убивала всех вот этих вот боссов без дополнительного оружия. Там же потом находишь какой-то осколок специальный, и с ним типа убиваешь какой-то кровавый. А я просто так убивала всех. Блин, я так психовала. А еще этот командир Найлс или Нейл, как-то он так называется, такой зимней локации. Он меня так заколебал.
I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall
Ну, конечно,
never
игра
die.
такая прям очень унылая,
We
мрачная.
commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father.
Да, который с мечом вместо ноги.
The soul of our sister departed, and we commit her body to the ground.
Вот это тот босс, где нужно было прям вот
Earth to earth, ashes to ashes,
изучать его
dust to dust.
мувсеты. Прям вот досконально сидеть и прям учить. Каждое движение уже наперед его знать. И тогда ты его можешь убить.
Why kill my Mary and stick her here in this cold, god-awful place?
These are the legal requirements for the epidemic.
А это кто рядом? Дворецкий, что ли? Рядом с ней.
Avery, I feel so tired. Please take me home.
Yes, madam.
Подруг призывал. О! Блин, слушайте, тут, по-моему, будет сейчас интересный выбор или не будет. У него... Или нет. Захочет ли он ее воскресить или не захочет? Или нет, или нет, или нет, или да, или нет. А она же типа мертвых нельзя, типа.
Jonathan, there is nothing you
всё.
can do but accept it.
Что она здесь делает?
I thought you could use the company. I am so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
She was a good person. Vibrant, full of life. She was kindness incarnate, my Mary.
You're a good person, Jonathan. And a young Ekon. A newborn cast into the night without so much as a candle to guide your way.
She had been scouring the most dangerous parts of London in search of me. And it led to her death.
Jonathan, don't.
I still hear her last thoughts. They echo in my head. Her mind shattered, and it haunts me.
Jonathan, stop. Listen carefully. You must come to terms with this. You must learn to live with what happened.
Как я могу, скажите, как? Я учусь каждую ночь.
How is it possible? Tell me. Is it so easy to take a life every night and then just smile and nod at those you spared?
Don't you see? You're doing the work of our enemies, feeding your remorse. We are weakest when we grieve, and the guilt blurs our senses.
And so this is why you're here. To warn me. You felt this pain yourself. You too have endured this.
I don't want to lose you, Jonathan. I've lost so many friends. Loved ones I cherished. Pray for Mary's forgiveness, if you must.
I'm not a religious man. You should know that.
This is not about you forgiving yourself. This is for her. This is you telling Mary how sorry you are.
What should I do then?
St. Mary's Church is not far from here. Go there and make your peace. Find the solace you need.
My lady wants me to confess.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess, I think.
Душнота. Какое все мрачное. Я не знаю вообще, кому тут доверять, не доверять. Что это? Слабая сыворотка крови. Странный рецепт. Я какой-то рецепт здесь нашла. Просто валялся на полу. Да это не только кладбище, типа, вся игра такая унылая. Такая нуарно-грустная. Эпидемия, там все болеют. О, я нашла убежище. Так, сложный рецепт написан на клочке бумаги. Нужно исследовать. Так, средства от невралгии, от мигрени, от головной боли. Так, это у меня нет. Опиум. Если я упаду вот сюда. Блин, тут еще можно купить какое-то крутое оружие. Наверное. Карантин. В зоне эпидемии. Так.
And off to church he goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood from the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion. Shed your skin
Кто это?
Forget your old weaker self.
What do you want from me?
Идите, какая-то горилла.
Ascalon does not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon.
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn them, abide by them, or I shall return as your judge and jury.
Кто это?
These immortals try my patience with their plans and unsolicited counsel.
Бессмертные донимают советами. Не кашляйте в общественных местах. Жесть. Тут и такое есть.
Best be moving on. Best run along home.
Ой, я здесь была уже. Она так и не разговаривает?
Very well.
Какой-то чел забавный.
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
Not at all, sir.
Вы в курсе, чем занимается цветочница?
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
Безнадежный романтик. О.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
Do you need medical...
It may be wise.
I understand your appetite for word.
The nutrition of my mind is...
I'll leave you...
25 опыта всего лишь. Я думала больше. Ну ладно. Вот одного челика я еще не нашла.
Yes? What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop, but I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's.
Викарий Амелий. Это очень лично. Мне не нужен слушатель, мне не нужен собеседник. Это лично.
You seem to me a good soul, vicar, but this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent as stone.
Давай, пока. Вас не касается, это личное дело. Ну, пофиг.
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage, yet I see the pain that lies beyond. I am here to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest. As you seem quite adamant.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you. With whom do you wish to speak?
Да господи, уйди.
Just know, I cared for her.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened to her?
It was an accident. A terrible, terrible accident.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
I wish I could forget all this.
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
Я вот посижу, послушаю.
How can this...
Клянусь, это не я.
I'm so sorry, Mary. I promise to find who is responsible for all this. I'll put an end to this horror.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are
Исповедаться
sincere.
пришел.
Go in peace now and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
Все?
Whatever happened on this dock is between my sister and I. It does not concern God at all.
Боги здесь ни при чем. Ну, вообще, да.
Good evening, Doctor. Have you any news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
It appears the dispensary is now a major source of contagion in Whitechapel. Someone should do something about it, but no one cares.
Goodbye, Miss.
На него тоже не нашла никаких подсказок. Встретиться с Эдгаром Сноуси в больнице. Ничего не скажет. Кристи Поппа.
Good evening, Christina.
Change your...
What do you know about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
2 girls I know went to the dispensary yesterday. Nobody has seen
О,
them
нифига.
since. I worry about them, in case bad things happen.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Здоровье, по-моему, давал ей лекарства.
Goodbye.
You again?
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I saw her wandering the streets. Yesterday, I think.
Она уже
Didn't recognize me.
забыла все.
Say she's lost it. It's a sad story.
Что спрашивать-то?
Goodbye.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your
Да.
focus, do you?
Знаете, что Гарри слаб здоровьем?
What do you know of Harry Peterson? The boy seems so fragile.
Ну, как бы
Not
не
like his
совсем.
father at all.
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining.
Тут просто много персонажей, нужно со всеми общаться, там,
What troubles him exactly?
слушать диалоги
Almost everything, I think. He never wanted to come to
и
Whitechapel
делать
in the
какой-то
first
вывод
place. Hates
правильный.
this place more than most of us.
До всего этого.
Do you have any news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
It appears those who dare to get health care from that bitch are never seen again. Something fishy going on there, for sure.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Жесть, я даже не знала, что вампиры кто-то смотрит.
I should never have taken up my
Так.
father's business.
Сейчас, минутку. Рекомендованных? Ничего себе.
I know it's hard to believe, but this district has always been wretched. Don't let your guard down, sir.
Так, это чё?
Mr. Bates,
Evening.
have you heard anything about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
Not really.
A man such as yourself, knee-deep in the muck of Whitechapel, must know more. Speak now.
Heard it closed after the owners died. Refugees don't want to come to Whitechapel no more. Scared, I hear.
You sound disappointed.
As long as she was there at the dispensary, it attracted more immigrants and kept my place full. Such a shame.
Why am I not convinced?
Maybe it's because you lack faith. Being a skeptic must be useful for a man of science.
Goodbye.
Какая-то подсказка была. Ну ладно.
Good evening.
I get that.
How do you feel?
I need...
Что вы теперь будете делать? Вы живете на улице?
What do you plan to do now that Nurse Crane is gone?
I'm not sure. Strange men came to see me after Dorothea's death, with strange weapons and very odd stories.
What kind of stories?
Stories all Romanian children know. It was as if I was home again. Vampires, Mr. Doctor. Vampires.
You believe them? Aren't you too old to hold a weapon or listen to scary stories?
Он не знает, что он
Yes, I
вампир,
am
типа?
old and alone and will die soon, but if these stories are true, maybe I have found myself another cause.
Are you living on the streets, Mr. Petrescu?
And why not? Those who believe they'll be safe behind walls are blind.
What about your house?
My house is always open to any poor soul needing a roof. All my work here is lost now that Dorothea is gone, thanks to you.
Why are you so aggressive?
I remember the night you came here and convinced me to open my door to you, sir. I'd like to punch you right on your chops.
I heard what happened to Nurse Crane. How do you feel, Mr. Petrescu?
Everything was going well until you arrived. Dorothea helped people and will be sorely missed.
Она была хорошим ветераном, получила по заслугам. Я тоже хочу спасти Лондон.
I regret it too. I wish she'd continued working at the Pembroke Hospital. She was a good nurse.
So you put an end to the operation. Did you put an end to Dorothea as well?
You seem to have a lot on your chest, sir. What's wrong?
I heard you are a famous surgeon. Tell me, what did you do to Dorothea? She was so bright, so clever. Then you made her an empty shell.
I didn't use drugs or medical trickery, Mr. Petrescu. All I did was talk to Nurse Crane. I promise you.
But what happened to her then?
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Goodbye.
Может, она что-нибудь скажет новенькая.
Good evening.
Have you any news on Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
It seems her dispensary isn't so busy nowadays. Good thing for the Swanborough cordial.
I'd like to...
30 сет грамм сноуси. Ничего нельзя.
How are you?
I'm not your boy, all right? Now piss off.
Have you heard anything about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
Never heard of her.
Goodbye.
Блять, а я его вылечила?
I'm not your...
Do you need a...
Please.
There you go. Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
Goodbye.
Я не знаю, просто если их лечить, они потом пойдут на контакт. Как-то пообщаться, может, с ними можно. Не знаю. Я не очень хочу с ними драться. Где эта штука? Блять. Стеклянная пробирка. О.
And pain are precious when binding you to the earth.
Может, это его какой-то внутренний голос? Нет никакого вампира. Это он?
Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making.
This
Так, выбор
It's
пал.
your
Ну,
doing.
просто мне подарили как-то давно и решил поиграть.
made me this creature. What are you?
I am the land. You are our champion.
Хватит загадок, почему я?
You selected me, chose me.
As shall my children yet to come.
What is it you seek?
This age is sickly.
Да, не знаю, по настроению. Типа, в доту, в КС.
In a cauldron newly forged.
У меня под стримом есть список игр, и то я там не ограничиваюсь этим списком.
Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur. I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave. So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
Вот она.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground.
Это за взгляд.
Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
Are you worried about the situation or your reputation? Now is not the time to think of oneself.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan.
Мисс Харриет?
She was Miss Harriet Jones.
Это бабка, что ли?
Like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
У меня нет на это сил, опять на меня все надежды, я помогу вам.
You want to restore peace in the hospital again.
I know this place means something to you. I have noticed how you suppress your appetite when around the staff and patients.
You need to know you can trust me, Edgar.
I do, dear fellow, I do.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Well, they are not far wrong. The hospital is almost crawling with vampires.
McCallum is a fanatic. The guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
Положить конец. Блять, а если бы я его не спасла, то что?
Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock.
Good evening,
Doctor.
Спросите о недавних
Can you tell
событиях.
me anything about the recent...
It's a tragedy, pure and simple. The hospital is meant to be a safe haven to all. We failed the people who trusted us with their care.
Do you think I should not have brought Mr. Hampton back here?
It's not your fault. You rescued that poor soul. It was the
Goodbye.
Короче, зря я его спасла. Лететь.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Everybody's afraid. Death has always been a frequent visitor. But murder? How can we cope with that?
As a nurse at this hospital, it is your duty to deal with these things as best you can.
Yeah. Until it's my turn to have blood spread all over the walls. I entered the room first, Dr. Reed. I've seen what that monster did to the woman.
Goodbye. Good evening.
Evening.
Can you tell me anything about recent events at the hospital?
Before the shouts and the noises, I think I heard whispers coming from the stairs. 2 voices, maybe more.
Did you recognize the voices? What did they say?
I couldn't hear. Sounded like they were arguing or something.
Каких-то людей.
Good. Good evening, Miss
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Is there anything you can tell me about the recent commotion here?
Many things can happen under cover of night, Dr. Reed. But I took no part in this massacre.
But did you see or hear anything?
I can't say I did. But the smell of fresh blood almost made me faint, Doctor.
О, она вообще сумасшедшая, с ней вообще лучше не разговаривать.
Earth happened here?
Что произошло? Напал вампир.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
What can you tell me about the recent events in the hospital?
That Mr. Hampton killed Miss Jones in her room, then ran away.
And did you see all this?
No. I was working by the tents when it all happened. I only entered the room when they asked me to clean up the blood.
Where is Miss Jones's body?
I don't know. I'd imagine the morgue. It all happened so quickly.
Did you see Sean Hampton leave the hospital?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting the hospital gates after the shouting started. At first I thought it was someone who was just scared, but... well, maybe it was him.
Может быть, надо пойти в морг?
Goodbye, nurse.
Все-таки.
Oh, Jonathan, I cannot believe my eyes. Poor woman, butchered by some savage scalp.
Would you care to partake in this meal?
Jonathan, how could you say such a thing?
Forgive me if I feel despondent, for there seems to be no end to the suffering and death that surrounds us.
I'm always here for you, Jonathan.
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by a creature, a vampire in Whitechapel. stating I had to obey the law of conduct.
What more can you tell me about him?
Он был огромный, а что такое скалон? Был огромный.
He was bigger than a man. Huge, in fact. He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart. Then he vanished.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you, but rather out doing his master's bidding.
What is Ascalon?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful vampires in Britain and exert tremendous influence. Take my advice and stay well away.
I have experienced a certain difficulty when faced with holy symbols or trying to enter religious buildings. Have you?
Now that's quite a question. I don't know why, but yes, it has happened to me.
Aren't you frightened?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Is this a sign? The hand of God in action? Are we repellent unto heaven?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan. But I believe superstition and magic is just fact awaiting the lens of science.
Have you embraced this woman, like the other patient, this Mr. Renfield?
Her name was Amelia. And no, I did not kill her. I vowed a very long time ago that I would never take another life, unless they ask.
Is there sufficient vitality in the blood of the sick and dying patients?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger gnaws at me every waking hour. Frankly, I'm starving.
Temptation surrounds us. Rich, vital. How can you resist?
Over the years, any pleasure I once gleaned from feeding is long gone. I drink for sustenance. And though I still thirst for more, I restrain myself.
Thank you, my lady. I hope to see you again soon.
Как-то все очень... загадочно.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed.
А он почему не... А,
Goodbye.
я у него спрашивала. Кстати, я не приходила к тому лысому челиксу.
Good evening, Doctor. Still...
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Someone killed Miss Jones in her room, and Mr. Hampton's gone missing. Doesn't take a genius to piece it together.
You don't seem shocked by any of this.
Why should I be? Whoever did this must be long gone by now. And besides, he got rid of the old bag.
Goodbye.
Ему же нужно было сделать операцию на что-то там, не помню.
Good evening.
And good evening to you.
Can you tell me anything about the recent commotion in the hospital?
I'm sure it was not your fault, Dr. Reed.
My fault? What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. It's just... I heard it was you who brought the murderer inside our walls. But you couldn't know, could you?
Goodbye.
I'm quite...
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Nothing like this would have happened if we'd had enough staff and proper shifts.
So you don't think the blame is ours?
We all hold fast here, Dr. Reed. Our methods may differ, but we are all trying to make a difference.
Thank you.
Эдди еще здесь?
Good evening, Doc.
Так.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
It's a disgrace. How on earth can patients be attacked in their own rooms?
Блин, столько подсказок, на самом деле, я не знаю.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion?
I had shouting.
I have...
Don't waste your time with me.
Will this shift never end? You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Please, tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital.
I heard Miss Jones call for help from her bedroom. There were some loud noises, like people fighting. All of a sudden, it went quiet. And then a nurse started screaming.
Do you know who the nurse was?
Not sure, but I think it was Nurse Hawkins.
Hawkins.
Goodbye for now.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Может, что-то у нее спросить? Так, а что знает вот этот челик? Он выйдет?
It's locked, all right.
Он что-то там говорит странное. Как-то... Типа сердце у него как-то светится. Что-то значит?
I managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your wife. I hope that might help.
Что это значит? Как можно послушать? Знать больше. Он что-то шепчет.
I'm quite...
Thank you.
Ну он выйдет или нет? Я хочу с ним поговорить.
It's locked.
I managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your wife. I hope that might help.
Он не хочет выходить почему-то. Так, а эти что скажут свидетелям?
Hey, Doc.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
All I know is I ain't letting anyone rip my throat out in my sleep. I found myself a nice blade, Doc. I'm ready.
I'll leave you.
Блять, я испугалась. газ выпустили. Так, а в доке мне туда надо? Что-то я не помню как. Приблизить, отдалить. Понимаю.
Watch yourselves!
Да, камера здесь вообще, конечно, супер. Ну, ж вроде на той стороне. Блин, везде эти челики стоят.
Sorry, sir. No admittance. Take his hand! He's done!
Жри! Блин, надо еще оружие увеличить, урон. Что-то тоже об этом забываю все. Чё? Босс какой-то был. Так. Здесь никого нет. Так, сопроводительное письмо. Привет, Фрэн. Как ты, старый друг? Я так рад был повидаться с тобой в прошлой неделе. В следующий раз угощаю я. Надеюсь, в твоей части города все в порядке. А здесь, в своем родном квартале, ситуация ухудшается. Клей с каждым днем становится все агрессивнее. Он думает только о новых захватах. Даже при том, что какой-то из новых игроков претендует на нашу территорию. Боюсь, что мокрые ботинки здорово влипли. Я тут подумал над твоими словами, что ты не жалеешь об уходе из банды. И единственное, о чем жалеешь, так только о том, что больше никогда не появишься в Ист-Энде. Ведь там тебя ждет хорошая взбучка или еще что-то похуже. Сюда я гарантирую тебе защиту. Может, снова поговорим о новых возможных работе. Ты знаешь, какая столовка обращался с числами. Если твоей компании нужен бухгалтер, давай это обсудим. Передавай привет жене от меня. Мокрые ботинки, навязала старина Бут Дигби. Так, а Фрэнк это... Кто такой Фрэнк? Может быть... Где он? Бут Дигби. Я еще даже не встретила. Это почта. А вот и он.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. May I ask you a few questions?
Who are you? What do you want?
As I just told you, I'm a doctor. From the Pembroke Hospital, actually.
The Pembroke Hospital, you say? I ain't paying any bill left by Clay.
I'm not here to collect payment, Miss...
Miss Edwina Cox. So what do you want then? Fancy buying
А это
something
его
from
жена,
me, maybe?
типа?
What can you tell me about your work?
I'm a businesswoman. I buy and sell things, and I send my wet boot boys after anyone who don't play nice with me.
Gang member and shopkeeper. Can't be easy running double shifts.
If you're interested, I may find use of a doctor who can freely walk across the city, you know.
Мне это не присоединяйтесь в выражениях.
You're quite blunt, aren't you?
I like people who know what they want and say what they think. This is a time of great opportunity for those ready to embrace their destiny.
I'm not interested in a career in the criminal underworld, Miss Cox.
Fair enough. Stay away from us.
Since my return from the war, I don't feel that concerned by threats, knives, or even bullets, if you must know.
That's exactly what that stupid trade unionist claimed after he attacked one of us. Booth and I reminded him a bullet beats words every time.
Что скажете об этом районе?
What can you tell me about this part of town?
You can't trust anyone around here. As soon as you lower your guard, you can be sure some arsehole will take advantage of you.
Вы не преувеличиваете, имейте в виду конкретного?
Really? Don't you think that's a little bit excessive?
Bastards, all of them. This region only responds to violence and threats.
You sound like you're thinking of somebody in particular.
Take the gravediggers of Southwark. They must pay me every week, but it looks like they forgot who gave them permission to steal from the dead.
Looting corpses in a mass grave. That is a new low.
Whatever. Hey, since you're a doctor and all, maybe you can act.
You still use your husband's name, Edwina. Why is that?
Why shouldn't I? He may be a bloody bastard, but I'm still his wife, and his name means something round here.
You never paid him a visit at the Pembroke Hospital, did you?
And I don't intend to. In Clay's case, I'm not against a medical mistake.
Но он реально
From
мерзкий.
the Spanish flu.
Он реально мерзкий.
Tell me about the man you and Booth killed, Edwina.
The bastard killed one of us and received retribution. There's nothing else to say.
What happened exactly?
I don't know, and I don't care. One of ours was killed by that communist bastard, but he didn't brag for long.
So you have no idea what really happened, but you executed him anyway.
No one messes with the wet boot boys, Doctor. This is our territory, and this is our law.
And your conscience is clear. You kill without hesitation.
Violence is an efficient tool, Dr. Reed, when used properly.
So you decide who lives and who dies, just like that.
Yes, Doctor. Just like that. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying it's my way of dealing with troublemakers.
Необходима подсказка, спросите жены.
I'm looking for Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where I could find him?
The sad saint? I heard he was mugged or something.
Yes, he was. But he left hospital recently.
You don't say. Well, I suppose it's good news for the homeless and the useless. Ask them, they must know something.
Can I...
As long...
Что у него есть? Херня всякая.
Good evening, sir.
Who the fuck are you? Don't you see I'm busy here?
Dr. Jonathan
И не
Reed.
все мерзкие.
And who are you?
Ah, some fancy gentleman.
So you won't tell me your name, then?
The name is Booth Digby. Maybe I'll ask my boys to break one or two of your bones, just so you
Are you some kind of vigilante patrolling these streets at night?
Something like that, but the police aren't in charge here. We are, see?
So you're a concerned criminal, is that it?
Using funny jokes about me and my boys, are you? Fuck. You must have some balls.
I saw many men like you during the war, Mr. Digby. Greedy little cockroaches who
Жадная
feed on
саранча.
despair.
I could kill you for saying that. But, nah. You've been a soldier. I can respect that.
So, tell me about your gang, then.
What? Have you got a death wish? You really want me to answer that?
Well, yes. You seem so proud of your status. Why not tell me who you're working for?
Oi! I'm the boss, all right? The Wet Boot Boys work for me. All of them. Situation round here is better than other districts because of us. Because of me.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
Things ain't that bad, thanks to us. We give people what they need, and we control this borough.
Well, you're not doing a very good job. People are still dying here like everywhere else.
Yeah, well, we can't be everywhere all the time. And Edwina says if we can find more guns, we could be more efficient.
More efficient? Really? You should probably tell Edwina that guns are useless against diseases and infections.
Incredible. You know what? You're lucky she can't hear you right now. She's more smart than patient. My sweet queen of the docks.
Доступна новая подсказка. Скажите, зачем вы убили человека?
Tell me about the man you killed, Booth. What happened?
One of us had been killed, so we had to retaliate. That's the whole story.
There has to be more to it than that.
No, really. One of us got killed, so the killer had to die. That's how things have always been done round here. No one gives a shit.
Однажды вас убьют, вы не правы.
Don't you see it's an endless spiral? One day, it will be you who will be stabbed, or shot, or worse.
That's what my sweet Edwina always says, that one day I'll get it too. But she says it with the most beautiful smile, my Edwina.
I know you're looking for an honest job, Booth. You're tired of this criminal life, aren't you?
It's just an idea. Edwina loves to run things so much. You can never really leave the gang. Wet boys for life, you know.
Подсказка, подсказка.
Do you know where I can find Sean Hampton? I need to talk to him.
The sad saint. Why on earth do you want to talk to him?
He was one of my patients at the Pembroke Hospital.
Oh, yeah. I heard the poor bastard had been abducted by some cunt. You better ask Tom Watts. He knows Sean Hampton well.
Goodbye.
Тома Уотс, это который хозяин бара? Опа.
Mark my words, miss. These murders are the work of a vampire.
A vampire? Whatever do you mean?
I'm a tracker of these creatures. A vampire hunter.
You best be off to your hunt.
Good evening, sir.
Whatever.
Don't you recognize me?
Don't take it personally. I spent...
Yes, you had definitely...
I'm Dyson Delaney.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Delaney?
I drink. I drink in the morning and at...
Inebriation aside.
Yes.
Take this, then.
Hey, Doc, you don't really want me to stop. The only remedy I can...
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the cheap drinks, I mean.
How dare you say such a thing? I love this neighborhood. So friendly. So joyful.
No reason at all to rejoice, then. Life is hopeless and then we die, is that it?
Let me tell you a story.
All right. Go on.
A few years ago, When I believed a resolute man could change things around here for good, a tragedy occurred nearby.
What kind of tragedy?
It was a bomb. Bomb that exploded and killed many people. Metal and blood everywhere. Shouts, fire, broken window of the shoe shop, the torn street light.
You lost people you loved that day, didn't you?
I've lost everything. But you know what the worst part is? I don't even remember where it happened. I've drunk so much to forget it. And now I can't remember where it was. I can't pay my homage to the dead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Delaney.
It's okay. If you ever find the place, just leave a flower for me there. Even if you tell me where it is. I'm not sure I'd memorize it.
Я на кладбище.
I'm looking for Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where I could find him?
I really don't know. I heard he'd been abducted. I don't know if he's back.
Who?
About a sad saint. I'll try asking Tom.
Goodbye.
Может быть, кстати, найти Шона Хэмптона, собрать
Not a drop of
информацию.
blood left in his body. This is the work of a vampire.
Может быть, если бы я положила цветочек на могилу, которую он просит, возможно бы он что-то рассказал. Но не факт.
Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
A vampire hunter? Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist, and they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'd like to hear more about these vampires you're hunting.
A man of science? Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
What can you tell me about this neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Oh boy. It's a shame I wasn't around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic in this part of town.
But it's my duty. I am convinced Jack Gillingham was killed by a vampire. These evil rodents are spreading like a plague.
So, how
Но
exactly
охотник за
are you
вампиров.
protecting these people? I'm curious.
I patrol late at night, investigating anything unusual. I try and encourage people to stay indoors, but people are careless.
Can I help in any way?
Actually, yes. I plan to put up posters to alert the population to the vampire threat.
Are you asking me to paste posters about vampires around the docks?
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then I can focus on my patrols.
Новое расследование.
How do you identify a vampire?
It's simple, really.
Так.
They can't stand daylight. They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also cannot enter a house without being invited.
Have you ever killed one of these creatures? Yourself, I mean.
Of course I have. What kind of question is that? It's a dirty business, believe me.
Have you heard of the Guard of Priwen?
Of course. They're dedicated hunters. A little militant for my taste, but they do let anyone join.
Were you ever tempted to join the Guard yourself?
I did think about it, but I'm more of a silent hunter. They're more of a sanitary militia.
So you hunt alone? That sounds risky.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow
Может, он
certain
тоже
patterns.
какой-то странный, типа вампир,
It's
я не
just a matter
знаю.
of observation and
patience.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me, Mr. Throgmorton?
The sad saint? He should be at his night asylum at this hour. But I cannot tell you how to find it, sorry.
Really? Why is that?
It's nothing personal, Doctor. I'm sure your intentions are good, but people who sleep there, they have plenty of reasons to hide.
I could make you tell me, but I respect your refusal. You really believe Sean is a saint, don't you?
All I will say is this. Gossip has it that when he was a child, he was molested. By a priest of all people. Funny thing is, though, it only strengthened his faith.
Нифига себе. А, ничего себе. Офигеть. Это тот...
Maybe at least you can tell me who could help me.
Это тот священник, оказывается.
Go and chat with Tom Watts. He's a bartender and good judge of character. If he talks to you, then it's fine by me.
Goodbye.
Так, а она что скажет?
Evening, miss.
Well, I never. That's a first. Customers who make that much mess rarely come back. Never mind in fancy Tom.
Так вообще бы не подумала, что он кого-то смог убить. А может быть, он не просто так это сделал.
Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Welcome back to the Turquoise Turtle then, Doctor. I'm Sabrina Cavendish. How can I help you?
Так они разговаривали вроде.
What can you tell me about this area?
People don't appreciate that line of questioning round here. You best be more careful with what you say, sir.
You look concerned, Miss Cavendish.
This is a bad borough. Most people I know are afraid. Most locals will rob you blind, or worse. You best mind your step.
Я в опасности, чего мне бояться? Почему вы тогда здесь?
If you're uncertain about your safety here, the docks might not be the right place for you.
I got responsibilities. And it's not like I got the money to move anywhere else anyway.
This place seems, how shall I put it, very colorful. I'm sure it has plenty of stories to tell.
We get people of all sorts here. It's that rare place in the docks where you can have a drink without being murdered. At least it's not happened yet.
So this bar is neutral territory then?
Yeah. Tom's convinced this is something the locals need. No one ever draws a weapon here. That's one of the reasons I accepted the job.
Your boss must be quite the negotiator to force such an agreement.
Yeah. Tom's a great bloke. Mr. Hampton, who runs the night asylum, he's the only other man that's able to keep peace around here.
Excuse my curiosity, but where exactly are you from, Miss Cavendish?
Something bothering you? What, my name? Or my complexion?
Я не сужу людей по цвету кожи.
Believe me, I never judge someone on their place of birth or the color of their skin.
If that's true, you'd be one of the few not to make fun of me. Just you, Tom, Dyson, Miss Fishburne, and of course Mr. Hampton.
I'm sorry if I worried you. I was just curious to find out if you know this part of town well.
Nosy. My dad was a sailor from Bombay, and my mum was a maid born up in Glasgow. They got married in London, and here I am.
Miss Cavendish, would you be willing to help me locate Sean Hampton?
You better ask Tom, sir.
Why not answer me directly?
We respect the privacy of our customers here, sir. Only Tom can decide
Ну,
who
блин,
to
она
speak to
много
and what
чего
he'll say
тоже
to them.
по-любому знает. Не хочет просто говорить.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish.
А тут можно прокачать гипноз ведь, да?
Good evening, Tom.
Good evening, sir. How are you tonight? Back to the docks, are we?
You remember me then?
Of course I do. You're that man who seemed so lost when he entered my bar a few nights ago.
Thank you for your hospitality. I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way.
I'm still Tom Watts. Welcome back, Doctor.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's not that bad. Thanks to people like the sad saint of the East End.
Who?
Sean Hampton, our own private holy figure. Few are foolish enough to make peace with the gangs. Sean is one of them.
Так.
How is it you can keep this place open? This part of town doesn't seem particularly safe.
Well, since everybody needs a drink, my pub is considered neutral ground by most groups.
Меня сильно разнятся, вас здесь уважают.
I see.
Мнение.
So you get pressure from all sides about how this place should be run, do you?
Well, something like that. Nothing that a few wise words and a bottle of gin can't solve.
You're something of a figurehead around here.
I'm only pouring alcohol for everyone to forget their troubles. Sean Hampton is the one giving them long-term hope.
Since I'm here, is there anything I can do?
Well, perhaps, Doctor. Peace partly depends on my stock of gin. With the epidemic, my supplies are running low.
How could a physician help you in this matter?
I have a small warehouse just past the quarantine line. Perhaps, with you being a doctor, you could go there and come back?
Doctors aren't immune to disease, you know. Very well. Show me where it is. I'll see what I can do.
Oh, thank you, sir. Here's the key to get in. You're about to save many dry throats.
Так, может мне сначала на склад этот гонять? Страхи Сабрины.
Why does your waitress feel in danger working on the docks?
This part of town is dangerous for all, but for women it's worse, as always. Sabrina is a brave girl, but she can't help feeling in danger.
Do you think she has good reason to feel this way? Are you not worried about her safety?
Of course I am. The truth is, she's tougher than me deep inside. She just has to learn to control it.
Так. На склад.
Goodbye, Miss.
А что там с... Какой склад? Какой-то ключ.
It's locked.
Может, тут что-то есть. Я здесь не была. Так. А как понять, где этот склад? Произошло неизвестное событие. Так, я хочу посмотреть на карту, как тут маркер приблизить, отдалить. А, тут просто вот так. Какой-то склад. Блин, нельзя быстро перемещаться еще. Плохо. Ладно. Я думаю, что если бы можно было ему помочь, он... возможно, рассказал бы.
Tom, I need to find Sean Hampton as quickly as possible. I've been told you could help me.
I heard the sad saint was recovering at Pembroke Hospital. Did he leave or something?
I believe he returned to his flock. Can you confirm that?
Oh, I bet you're right. Sean can't help but worry about the poor and sick. Oh, I guess it has something to do with what happened to him as a baby.
Please, tell me.
Well, I don't like to gossip, but I heard that the sad saint was abandoned as a baby in front of a Catholic orphanage in Dublin. That would explain his faith and need to help everyone.
The important thing is I find him, quickly.
Why not try his night asylum? He takes care of those who need a meal or a roof there.
Where is it?
It's in an old warehouse, northwest of here. Just follow the bank to the west and go north when you reach the end of the pier.
Goodbye,
Ночлежки. Где склад-то? А это кто?
I so love to gaze at the stars.
Hello, boy.
Hello. Good evening.
Did I scare you? You have nothing to fear from me.
No, it's just that people prefer to avoid me.
Well, I won't. I'm a doctor.
My name is Rufus, sir. Rufus Kingsbury.
Are you alone? Where is your family?
I don't have any. My parents are dead.
So you have no home? You're sleeping rough?
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
We're all truly alone in this world. You're lucky you learnt that early.
I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburne. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
Миссис Фишбери, это кто?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul. Sometimes it's like she replaces the mother I lost, even if we're not related.
Стелла Фишбери.
What can you tell me about this region?
It's all about staying out of trouble. But since most people prefer to avoid me, it's pretty easy.
Why do people avoid you?
They call me Rufus the Curse. Around here, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm.
Have you ever thought about leaving?
Where else would I go? At least I know these streets and some people around here. This is my city, for better or worse.
What do you do around here?
Что ты здесь делаешь? Почему ты не уйдешь?
And I smile at those kind enough to spare me a bob.
У тебя есть
Do you have
работа?
a job?
It's hard to work, what with my head and all. Since I was a boy, I've always had trouble remembering what I do and why I do it.
What do people say about this place?
Things have been tense between the Wet Boot Boys and the Communists. They both feel they should run the dogs.
Do you know a man who lives in this part of town? A man named Sean Hampton. I'm looking for him.
Sorry, sir. I don't know a lot of folks around here. Most prefer to avoid me.
Well, I don't think you should talk to him. He may be very sick.
Thanks for the tip. You might want to check the Turquoise Turtle. It's a pub not far from here. The barkeep knows everyone in these parts.
Какая-то подсказка.
So long.
Кстати,
Evening,
можно вылечить вроде.
Do you need help?
A real doctor caring about me.
A real doctor treats everyone the same.
I don't know what to say. Thank you.
So long, Rufus. Be careful. Take care.
Так.
Monsters got folk gossiping and scared. It's
Да господи, сколько их.
flesh and blood.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Why must it always be a good evening?
I was just being polite. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you some questions, if I may.
Don't like questions. Or doctors. And the name is Seymour Fishburne, if you must know.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
A shithole filled with maggots. Liars and thieves, all of them.
Are you thinking about someone in particular?
No. Hate them all. Especially these petty, whining little shitbag beggars.
Is there no one who deserves your leniency then?
Well, Tom from our local is somewhat of a decent bloke. At least
Кстати,
unlike
может,
most
он
maggots who knows how to
говорил.
listen without opening his trap.
Вот этот мальчик, который там сидел.
What's your occupation?
I take care of my mum. It's what I do. She's the only good thing in my life. Even though I don't treat her so good.
You seem upset. Is something bothering you?
I lost the necklace I bought her. I'm a fucking idiot. A worthless idiot.
Sometimes it's hard to be a good son.
I just want her to smile. No, I was thankful for her patience, appreciated like... God knows she deserves it.
Any chance you can help me find Sean Hampton?
The sad saint. Why would you talk to that cunt?
Actually, that's confidential.
Really? Well, go ask someone else then. I'm sure Tom Watts will gladly answer you.
Goodbye,
Вот. Да почему именно на него? Сам не знает, где он. Ну-ка.
Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reed. Could I come in?
Ну-ка.
Why? What do you want?
I work at the Pembroke Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
The disease takes away the good people too, madam. Why not let me in?
It's Mrs. Fishburne. Stella Fishburne. And yes, indeed. Why not let a doctor in? Just grow eyes in the back of that head, sir. Gentlemen are easy targets in these parts.
Закрыто. Блин, мне вот интересно, если здесь просто всех сожрать, загипнотизировать, что будет?
So you have questions about the flu, then?
Yes, among other things.
Forgive my rudeness at the door. It's just my son doesn't like strangers coming in the house.
How is life around here?
Life has always been hard in the East End. But it's everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
Do you think the increase in violence has anything to do with the epidemic?
Don't know. But it's most likely linked to the gangs, if you ask me. Recently, it's like everyone has had to pick a side.
Violence has always fed on poverty, don't you think? It's a cruel law of the human condition.
And selfishness is their rotten fruit. These days, you can just die in the gutter and no one will bat an eye.
May I ask what you do for a living, Mrs. Fishburne?
Since my husband died, I worked at the Dawson Rope factory, but it
Заводим.
closed before the war. I occasionally help at the night asylum, in exchange for food.
Did your husband die in the war?
Oh no, my Jack was a docker. He died when my Seymour was just a lad. The poor boy saw his dad slip and fall from that scaffolding.
Жесть.
How do you pay the rent then?
My Seymour works at the docks, just like his dad. He's very attached to the house he grew up in, It's not always easy, but we get by all right.
The orphan that regards you as a mother. Please tell me about him, Stella.
You mean Rufus? I wish I could do even more for the poor boy. Most people are so selfish.
But you're not.
Years may have passed, but I haven't forgotten how it feels to go through days with nothing but an empty stomach.
Необходима подсказка.
I'm trying to locate Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where he could be?
You talking about the one everyone calls the sad saint? The man who takes care of the homeless?
The very same, Miss Fishburne.
I'm sorry. I don't know where his shelter is. But if you ask...
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne.
Блин. А если, блядь... А зачем гипнотизировать? Что надо делать? Зачем? Отпустить. Не, я не буду ничего делать с ней. Блядь, ключ какой-то. Может, тут можно найти что-то такое? Свинцовая пластина. Вот, блин, почему здесь не добавили таких моментов? Вот где этот ключ? Ключ, наверное, у нее, сундука. А она что-то знает по-любому. Мне так кажется. Назад. Закрыто. Что-то никого больше не вижу. Доки.
Seems like the guard at Freewell is on Sean Hampton's trail too.
I'll send you there. Snuff it, leech! I'll put an end to you! All of you bloody leeches! Thrust the leech, boys! Sorry, Vanny!
Погнали! Чё они рассыпают? Вампирская хватка. Так. Вообще туда, интересно, иду, нет? Это очень далеко. Навык когтя. Расходуйте свою кровь, чтобы заполнить здоровье. Значит, ничего особо нет.
Stupid thing!
Какие-то кресты. Такого не видела раньше. Так, странно. Окрестности ночлежки. Быть должно. Что это?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. May I have your attention for a minute?
Good evening, sir. My name is Giselle Paxton, but I don't have time for men like you.
Have we met before?
No, but I just need to look at your fancy clothes to know that you must be desperate to visit the docks at night.
That's quite judgmental of you.
Sir, I've led enough strikes when I had a job to identify you as an enemy of the working class.
May I ask what you do for a living?
I'm killing myself scraping for a living. And you? Have you ever had to struggle in your entire life?
Why such hatred? Are you judging me by my clothes and my job?
Of course I am. Fuck, you're so blind. You don't even see your privilege. Lazy people like you disgust me.
As I told you, I'm a doctor. You have to work a lot to earn that title.
Oh, a doctor. Born with money in a nice house, were we? Was Daddy a banker or a doctor himself?
Так.
What can you tell me about this vicinity?
Tell you what, just spend a few weeks here and then ask me that question again. If you're still alive, I mean.
Господи, я даже не смотрела YouTube, что мне там пишут. Скажите уже без обвиняк. Чё?
If you have something to say, say it. I'm getting tired of all this.
Oh, you want information instead? Well, here's some for you. Giselle Paxton does not like you at all, Doctor.
You don't know me, Miss Paxton, and yet you see me as an enemy.
Они охотники на вампиров.
Your clothes, your words tell
Типа
me
просто как
everything about you, sir. I know your kind, and you don't belong here.
отбросы. Бля, я борюсь с нищетой. Вы понятия не имеете, кто я. Вы правы. Может быть, просто сказать, что она права? Бля, ну ладно.
You're right, Miss Paxton. My clothes and my manners do speak for me. And I may not belong here, but that doesn't make me a bad person.
You tell me, Dr. Reed. You tell me.
Do you need medical?
No, thank you.
What can you tell me about this vicinity?
Tell you what, just spend a few weeks here, and then ask me that question again. If you're still alive, I mean.
Всё хреново.
You speak of strikes and class enemy. Am I right to assume you're involved in trade union activism?
You bet I am. Well, I was. Nowadays, I'm just another worker blacklisted by the big companies.
You lost your job because of your beliefs.
Those bastards really hate a worker who refuses slave wages and unsafe conditions, especially when it's a woman.
Isn't the whole point of trade unions to help workers in need? Why don't they support you?
A few nights back, I lost the money my companions had asked me to hide. With me and my sister being penniless, they thought I stole it.
What really happened?
I drank too much that night. Strange men saw me count the money in that bar. Some sort of militia in uniform. I'm sure they robbed me.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me?
What is it you want? Does he owe you money? Has he displeased your Royal Highness? I'm no snitch, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Well,
it's locked.
Ну, все закрыто.
Much work to do.
Что-то за кровавый этот. Какой-то след. Патроны. Так, ну, пока что поговорю с ней.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Can I help you?
A fancy doctor lurking at night by the docks?
And what about you? Working outside?
You want to know my secret? I'm trying...
Is it not dangerous to work here at night?
As long as I have good legs, I can run away from trouble. The sad saint now provides me and my sister a bed and a roof. I don't want to lose that.
Are you homeless, Miss Paxton?
Mr. Hampton's night asylum is our new home now. It's a safe place for me and my sister.
What can you tell me about the sad saint?
It's just the nickname of Sean Hampton, the sad saint of the East End. He gave me shelter, and he's not always sad.
Здорово.
What can you tell me about this place? How are things here?
It may be okay for a strong girl like me, but a dandy doctor from the city like yourself, you better watch your back, Mr. Reed.
You really think I should go back to a safer place, miss?
No. I think you had better stay and help as many people as you can. Just avoid the wet boot boys. Those bastards are worse than the epidemic.
Which local dangers must I avoid?
Well, the gangs, the thieves, the drunks, the jobless. A man with your fancy clothes will attract a lot of attention.
Well, I am not someone so easily intimidated.
Glad to hear that. And if you get into trouble, you can always seek help at Sean Hampton's shelter. No one would dare to be violent there.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me?
Mr. Hampton must be in his office at the night asylum he manages, I suppose. Why do you want to see him?
He was a patient of mine at the Pembroke
I see. Well, Mr. Hampton is a discreet and dedicated man. I'm sure you'll find him soon enough.
Goodbye.
Сколько подсказок. А тут больше никого нет. На рассвете перед уже завондован сдон, скопились тренированным взрывной в окна в серве.
It's locked. I cannot enter.
Так, мне походу нужно будет решить его судьбу. Я так понимаю. Это не исключение. Масло, картечь. Чё-то тут так столько много патронов.
Why the long face, Doctor?
Блять. Как вы смеете? Мы оба сильно изменились. Это все, что вас беспокоит?
It looks like we both have changed a lot. I must confess, it saddens me, Sean.
Put your faith in the Lord, Doctor. He has a plan for all of us. We may not always see it, but he does.
Since you left Pembroke, the amount of blood that has been shed, it's hard to believe you, Sean.
Ask what you will. As the Lord is my shepherd, I will not speak a lie to you.
Aren't you afraid of what you've become?
We are blessed, Doctor. Can't you see it? The Lord has made us able to walk amongst the plague and aid those that need it.
Останавливают священные символы.
Do you think this is a blessing when God's own house and holy symbols repel you?
If that is your burden, Doctor, so be it. But I do not fear the cross, nor am I forced to take the life of another. My kind doesn't share your imperfections.
But you must drink blood now to survive.
No, not your scripture. Whoso eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood hath eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. So saith the Lord. I only need to eat flesh, no blood.
Осуждаем такое.
Why return here?
This is my home. These people are my flock. You will always find me where I am needed.
Wonders never cease. Scal managing an asylum.
And what of you? A vampire doctor? Meals laid out before you. Yet you restrain.
And what about William Bishop? He tried to take care of you. But this hunger, this thirst, cannot be restrained.
Alas, poor William. He had a good soul, but was weak in spirit. He could not shake the thirst for booze, never mind blood. But have faith. My will is far stronger than his.
Why did you kill Miss Jones at the Pembroke Hospital?
Killed old Harriet? You must be mad, Doctor. Why would I do such a thing?
So you claim Miss Jones' death was not by your hand, nor the other incidents at Pembroke?
Though Harriet was an angry, spiteful woman, she was one of God's creatures. I have nothing but love for all he has made.
But you were close to her.
Of course. But she was lost. separated from the fold. She did not see the hand of the divine in my blessed condition.
People have been murdered. I've seen the blood. I don't believe you can be trusted.
Have a little faith, Doctor. If you will follow, I will guide you to the light.
How do you plan to do that?
Take this key of the old sewers. The entrance is by the riverbank, south from here. There you'll find all the proof you need.
Very well. You have definitely intrigued me. I hope you're right, Sean.
I'll be here when you return. If you still think I'm a threat then, well, I surrender myself to your judgment.
Господи, какой-то странный чел.
We shall have a good chat later, Dr. Reed.
Господи. Надеюсь, что я согласилась не зря на такой шаг. Может быть, есть тут какие-то улики? Ну, а кто еще мог убить, если не он? Что он тут делает?
Good evening, Mr. Throg. Dr. Reed. Goodbye, and good hunting, Mr. Throgmorton.
Так. Доки. Оки-доки. Что ж. Ярость. Гася. Жесть, 2000 опыта. Что-то много. Что-то столько очков требуется. Состояние здоровья стабильное. Нифига себе. Много кто заболел. Опиум. Как будет? Убедить Сяо Шунь вернуться в Уайтчапел. Найдите вход в канализацию.
It's locked.
Что тут закрыто?
locked, all right.
It ain't human! Kill it!
Блять.
The bloody crime! I'll send you to hell!
Куда эту ярость найти? Все. Он сначала кусает, а потом восстанавливает. Все, надо запомнить. Блять, куда я иду? Нудное местечко. Так. Ну-ка, оглушим. Алюминиевый порошок. Вообще не знаю, туда ли я иду. На карту я не смотрела. События. Вообще не туда. Надо через мост на ту сторону перебраться. Так получится. Побежать. Да. Вроде бы. Блять, кто это? Ворота.
I cannot enter.
Не с той стороны. Так, а где этот мост-то? Может, тут? Угу. Сюда. Я тут была уже. Антивампирский плакат. Так, в общем, ладно. Пока что все на сегодня. с игрой.